from the little orchard, or the food forest, or whichever term you prefer. Just a few steps down to the water level, and it's like you're almost in a different ecosystem, different little plant world. Now in May, there's a plant that grows here. I think it might be a kind of sedge. I've tried to identify it, but there are, I don't know, dozens of different kinds of sedge. So if it's sedge, I have no idea. I have no idea what kind. It has these little ribs in the leaves. Irises have it too, I think, but this is not an iris. Grapevines winding its way, flinging itself across the stream. There's a great variety of plants that grow here naturally, and also some grass in between them. So I planted another kind of native grass that I haven't found, which is called vanilla grass. It's supposed to be vanilla scented. Just a tiny plant. Here in between all these ferns, I've planted a button bush because I think that's a very nice type of native bush that will probably do okay here. This is marsh marigold, which I've planted here a long time ago. It's never grown much bigger than this clump, but it's pretty. It's already done flowering. This is what the seed looks like. Is it a flower or fruit or a seed here? And the sedge, if it is sedge, it comes right from the leaf. These, if I'm not mistaken, are Turk's cap lily. That flower much later in August. They definitely have lily-like leaves, but they're in this rounded formation. This is interesting. I've tried to find what this could be. It has a purplish green stem, and it has lobes at the base of some of the leaves. And when you look very closely, each leaf has a very thin purple lining, purple edge. I just pruned this big willow bush. It was full of dead wood. When we get a lot of rain, this becomes a little island in the stream. Part of the stream goes around the bush, the willow bush, on that side, and all of this is then a little island. Here's some kind of grass that was already here, and here's another little plant of vanilla grass. This foot is completely stuck. I think this is a loose strife. Everywhere there's this aquatic plant. Jewel weeds are already coming up here. No idea what this is. There's two of them. Today is a very warm day in June. Trying to show one of these flowers on the sedge-like plant. Maybe it is a sedge. Coming right from the leaf. Across from this big white rock, I planted the vanilla grass so that I would be able to find it again. And it's still here. This is a very nice day to stand with your feet in a little stream. The button bush looks very happy. The new button bush, and all around it the loosestrife is starting to flower. The yellow loosestrife. There are a lot of different kinds of loosestrife, but I am pretty sure this is fringed loosestrife. It is fringed with tiny hairs on the stems, and there is a lot of it. It's only just beginning to flower, so the flowers are not that visible yet from up here. Here's one plant I noticed the last time in May and wanted to know what it was because of those peculiar little lobes at the base of the leaf. And now that it has flowers, I was able to find out this is a kind of nightshade. Bittersweet nightshade. Just another wildflower. I'm enjoying the wetland garden, at least the wet part of it. Tons of sumacs are coming up here along the bank. Behind them are my plum trees. This here between the sedge is very pretty. If you made a bouquet of flowers, this is the kind of stuff you would make like a background for the other flowers. Just very tiny white flowers, but there's a lot of them. It's now one of the last days of June, and this plant that I thought might be pickerel weed has these types of spiky flower-like things. And if it were pickerel weed, they should be purple. Flowers should be purplish. So maybe it's not that after all. The Turk's cap lilies already look really nice, and they aren't even flowering yet. Apart from all the fringed loosestrife, I'm also spotting a whorled loosestrife here. And if I'm not mistaken, these big leaves here are from the rose mallow. And the loosestrife keeps flowering and flowering for weeks and weeks on end. I've done a little research, and apart from the blue flowering pickerel wheat, there is also one with white flowers. So maybe what we have here is the white pickerel weed. Katie. And if it's not that, I have no idea what else it could be. Some kind of grapevine. Recently, Emma was in this yard. I left her in this yard and went kayaking. And when I came back, she was gone. She was nowhere to be found. She was not in this yard anymore. And guess how she got out? Right here. There was a gap under the fence, and it had not been a problem so far. But on this day, there were some thunderstorms, and it was very hot. I think Emma just decided she didn't like to be here. Of course, she came back, and then I blocked this gap with some stone. Emma isn't in here all that often. She mainly gets her exercise at night when she guards in the other yard, which is much bigger. The other fenced part of our yard, which is at least an acre. It's not bad here. It has shelter, it has shade, it has water. She just doesn't really like to be alone. In the day she wants to be with us. I just spotted the first hummingbird of this year. Actually, maybe it wasn't the first, but the first one here. Oh, pickerel weed and fringed loose strife. Here's the button bush that I planted this spring. I'm surprised I can still find it. It's in a little cage, but you can no longer see the cage. So it's pretty strong, but it's not going to push anything out of the way here because these plants are incredibly vigorous. And I almost forgot the sumac. When I was clearing for my fruit trees, I deliberately left those sumacs because they were flowering really nicely, and now they have many times more flowers than last year. Oh my goodness. Here is a very thirsty crayfish. I think that's what it is. Don't know if I should move it to water, but there's no water in this stream. One reason why they're doing so much better in previous years is because I removed all the vines while they were growing up. The Turk's cap lilies. They used to be overgrown by vines. Until yesterday, this stream was all dry. Now one night of thunderstorms and rain, here's the black walnut canopy. Mid-August, and finally the beautiful rose mallow flowers are beginning to open. Even the buds are beautiful. Every bud is like a little basket holding the flower.